Alright guys, how you doing? We're here for our fourth and final Duck and Cover Derbies. It's Spurs versus West Ham. We're in London. This is Tottenham. This is home to Adele, Rich 3-2. Lots of people have come from this area. We're going to go around the area, find out a little bit more about it before the big game. Let's do it. You may recognise the building behind me. A few years ago it was one of the most prominent images of the London riots when it was set on fire and this whole area was in some serious turmoil, but since it's been completely rejuvenated, looking a lot better now. I'm here with Craig Mitch from Filthy Fellas and the Hotspur, but of course he's a massive Spurs fan as well. So, big derby game today, yeah. What are you thinking?
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to go for a draw. Hurts me to say. I would love to say a win, but you know, it's West Ham, it is a London derby, it's going to be fierce, intense. We played Europa League this week, so it's going to be, I reckon it has to be a draw.
What does the derby mean to you though?
This particular derby, I mean, it's fierce, it's definitely, I mean, they're just up the road, East London, we're north-east kind of borderline, so yeah, it's definitely a fierce derby, it's definitely something I take seriously myself and I always want to win. And your fans, like I said, they're a pretty rowdy bunch and so are ours, so it just makes everything even more intense and electrifying.
With some rivalries, yeah, it's quite fierce. West Ham have got a rivalry with Millwall, yeah, you've got a rivalry with Arsenal. Yeah. This is kind of like an extra one on the side. How do you feel a lot of anger towards West Ham, or do you enjoy the competition?
I don't feel, me personally, I don't feel a lot of anger towards West Ham, but in the same breath, I feel like the fan rivalry, because West Ham have such fierce fans, yeah, and so do Spurs, you know, there's a East End Cockney kind of Grant Mitchell type characters. I feel like it is fierce, even some to an extent, almost as much, if not more than the Arsenal one, purely because the Arsenal fans are, you know, they're soft.
And the big thing, I don't mean this as an insult, but the big thing about the derby between West Ham and Tottenham, yeah, is that you've got, in recent years, less so, but in the olden days, you weren't competing with Arsenal in the league, and we weren't in the same league as Millwall, yeah, so our big rivals weren't necessarily close in the table, whereas we've always been reasonably close. Yeah. In the last few years, Tottenham have gone a little bit higher, but there's that I think that's what adds to it, is that we're usually competing. This year, we're close to each other, so it is an important game in the league as well as in the rivalry.
Yeah, it makes sense, and it's like we've taken some of your best players over the years, which makes it even worse, you know, a little Jermaine Defoe. Who else is there?
We got Bobby Zamora.
We got Zamora, but we got Defoe, Canute, Carrick, you know, we got a couple.
It's quite a lot.
Yeah, quite a lot of good players. So, you know, that's even added to it even more. And, you know, your fans never forget, do they, really?
No, we never forget. We've seen some of them out there as well. They're looking feisty, so it's going to be a lively affair. But to be honest, I think the draw was a fair result, so best of luck to you, mate.
Yeah, best of luck to you too, Spec.
Let's do it. Come on, you Lion. Alright guys, we're outside the famous Chick King. Now I'm told this place does the best chicken in the whole of North London. We're also opposite where the new Tottenham ground is going to be built in a few years. Now when they were starting to put that plan together, there was a few rumours this place was going to get knocked down. But the Tottenham fans weren't happy. There was a Facebook page, public outcry. Needless to say, the Chick King's reign remains. He's still standing. You know what? That's not half bad. Scrumptious. Right, we're off to a pub now to watch the match, and just a quick disclaimer, if you're wondering why I've got a big black eye, it's because when I was playing Sunday League football last week, I accidentally tried to tackle someone's knee with my face. Big mistake. Let's go watch the game. Okay, it's half time in the game. It's 1-0 to West Ham, and I'm secretly very excited because we've been watching it in this pub and it's for home fans only, so I have to keep quite quiet. But when they went in, I was just like, okie dokie. But yeah, it's good. It's 1-0. Hopefully we can hold on. It's not a good atmosphere in there. The Spurs fans aren't happy. Okay, the game's over. It finished 2-2 despite West Ham being 2-0 up, so Tottenham fans are much happier now than they were a few minutes before the final whistle. It was a controversial ending with a last-minute penalty scored, well, sort of scored. He missed and then he scored the rebound. I'm not happy about it, but we'll talk to some of the Spurs fans now who will be a little bit happier about it than I am.
Mate, it should have been 3 points at the start. That's all I was accepting. But at 2-0 down, I'll take that. 2-0 down, I'll take the point. But we were shocking. Lamella, awful today.
I think you can say it was a fair result. We didn't deserve the win.
To be fair, we needed this win to get the double over them after last season. It was shocking.
Harry Kane's a good player. Glad he got a goal as well.
Very, very frustrated with the result. I didn't think we performed that well. But when you go 2-0 down, I mean, getting 2 goals back, you can't really complain. So it's one of those bittersweet situations, to be honest.
Well, I think at the end of the day, we were 2-0 down with 10 minutes to go, which is a really good result. But we were looking for all 3 points, especially against West Ham. But it's very nice to come back and draw 2-2.
To be honest, there's bigger derbies for me, but that late 1-0 this season was good for me. Dyer starting and that, didn't know much about him. A late win, started off the season nicely.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest derbies in the Premier League, I'd say, but not as big as Arsenal.
It's a big derby for me. Like, the fans are very passionate about it. So yeah, I mean, it was a tough derby, but at the end of the day, I feel like we should have won.
Duck and Cover, ready for anything.
Right guys, that is it for our 4th and final Duck and Cover Derbies. We've had a good little adventure, haven't we? We've been up to Manchester, up to Liverpool, up to Newcastle, and now we've done London. It was a good game to finish on as well, even though we threw away the points, but I'm not talking about that anymore. If you want to check out any of the Duck and Cover clothing, check out a link in the description. Drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed it, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Don't go changing.